From my childhood onward, some of my very best experiences have been watching science fiction movies.
I'm a big horror movie fan, science fiction fan, from way back.
I think science fiction makes us think in different ways. And
everyone likes to sort of wonder what will it be like, you know, 100 years from now.
Anything can happen in the next half hour.
Hello, I'm Michael Dorn. With just a little makeup, you might know me better as Lieutenant Worf in Star Trek: The Next Generation.
I believe I know why our messages are not being answered. Gowron has been rewriting Klingon history.
Beautiful, isn't he? Ever wonder about the future? What's going to happen? Not just to you, but to, well, everything? What if, in the future, you could travel to the ends of the universe?
Han Solo. I'm captain of the Millennium Falcon. Chewie here tells me you're looking for passage to the Alderaan system.
What if, in the future, a fleet of alien spaceships landed on Earth?
What are you? I am Marix, a native of the planet Mars.
What if there was a cable channel that explored all the worlds of our imagination? Science fiction, fantasy, and thrillers. Now, even though you're watching USA, what you're about to see is a preview of this exciting new cable channel. Look for it in your local listings or make contact with your cable company and tell them you want the Sci-Fi channel. Watch for the launch, Thursday, September 24th. You don't have to be a sci-fi buff to love sci-fi. All you have to do is love a good story, and the Sci-Fi channel's got plenty. Movies, some old, some new, many classics, and series. Some favorites you may not have seen since they originally aired. Even cartoons. We'll also put you on the cutting edge of science and on the cutting edge of imagination. So, for the next half hour, let your mind roam free. Let us give you a preview of this new network. Join us for a journey back to some of your past favorites and forward to some exciting new things to come, all on the Sci-Fi channel. Space. Vast, intimidating, mysterious, and challenging. Where strange things come from and go to. It's where I've been spending a lot of time. It's where battles are fought, discoveries made, fates decided, where species originate, procreate, mutate, and terminate. Space, where anything and everything can happen, and usually does.
Call me Commander.
Captain, I have come to the conclusion that this is not a game.
No, but if it's reality, what happened?
Well, at nighttime you drive in your car, and you pull off to the side of the road. You look up at the sky and the stars. Is that Mars? No, it's a UFO. Don't you know it's a UFO? Look at that sucker go.
Where did it go? Beats the hell out of me.
Help me on with my flying suit, Bob. I may have to get into action in a hurry.
The conquest of new worlds always makes demands on human life. And there will always be men who will accept the risk. Chuck! It's Chuck! Don't you know me? Chuck!
I've never seen anything like it.
What is it? Let's get out of here.
Never fear, Smith is here. I am Smith the Mighty, the strongest man in the universe. Where are they?
That way.
No one seems to know why these strange things occur. What they do now, yes they do. It could happen again.
Stay right where you are. I promise you that you will never leave here alive.
It's like Kirk's more like the take action guy.
And Captain Picard is like more cautious.
there's ever going to be a fight to the death between Shatner or Picard, Shatner would win because Captain Picard would be sitting there trying to talk peace.
So help me if you don't tell me where Spock has been taken.
Picard is essentially dedicated to the philosophy of talk, talk, talk before war, 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 which seems to me to be entirely appropriate for the last decade of the 20th century.
I've always thought that balding men were sexy.
I just feel very grateful to have been alive in the time that the whole Alien sequence of movies were being made, because I think they're superb. I remember vividly being both excited as well as very frightened by it.
An astronaut just can't spend the amount of time outside the space station or the shuttle that they need to do certain inspection tasks, certain construction tasks. And so robotics are going to be more and more important in the future.
Maybe the most fun we've all had with science fiction over the years has been wondering and creating what forms other life might take. Now, I happen to be intimately acquainted with one of these life forms, a rather sturdy, dependable fellow named Worf, from a planet called Klingon. Ever hear of it? Now, I'll admit he's got a combative nature, but I find him immensely likable. Now, in a moment, we'll meet some other life forms who are just as likable, and some who aren't. From the graceful, benign creatures in the abyss to the vicious beasts in Alien, writers, directors, and special effects creators have always found some way to show us what other forms life could take, whether they make us scream out of fear or laughter. You'll meet them all on the Sci-Fi Channel. How these other life forms come to the TV or movie screen is the result of a complicated equation involving factors like imagination, time, technology, and of course, budget.
If somebody gets a kind of a skewed idea, but it gets supported and it gets integrated into the film, it can come off, it can work.
The Wookiee actually came from my dog, Indiana, who is a big Malamute, very large, furry dog who looks a lot like the Wookiee, only slightly smaller.
Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves for a shock.
Some efforts may fall more into the realm of comedy than sci-fi.
And this is wine. To drink.
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 Good.
But when a new life form really works, it captures the imagination like nothing else. Remember the success of E.T., Star Wars, and the Star Wars sequels?
The Force will be with you. Always.
Vampires, werewolves, witches, ghosts, subhumans. Doesn't have to be sci-fi to be on the Sci-Fi Channel. It just has to stretch the imagination. Robots, superhumans, mutants, and aliens, especially Klingons. I can honestly say I've never met another life form I didn't like.
Hi. Come here often?
Alive. It's like a dance of light. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
A great, big, lumbering, deformed monster.
Seems you can't kill him. The bullets bounce off.
Let's just call it a monster. It's quite unique.
Damn. Oh, my God.
Good evening. On behalf of the management, I'm authorized to tell you that your presence here gives them great pleasure.
It means that we are extinct as a race. Unless, of course, we can find some good breeding stock and repopulate our planet.
Wow. What a beaut. And Miss Shore, this is a pleasant surprise.
I always like to please the ladies.
What a magnificent head of hair. must be very strong.
I'd die before I married you.
Well, now, Liz. Let's hope you don't have to go that far.
Could something have invaded him? A virus? A life form?
The whole idea of the robot being an automaton is sort of a 17th, 18th century idea. It's not a modern idea at all.
My sensors indicate that the contents are composed of rare and priceless elements, which are of great value to the owners, but may be dangerous to terrestrial life forms.
Might not be what we expect, but there's life out there.
The aliens plan to broadcast a message across all channels.
There are undoubtedly more of those power-mad creatures loose on other planets.
That's a look. And it doesn't happen overnight. Now here's a sci-fi trivia question for you. How long does it take to make an Earthman look like a Klingon? Wrong. From first-hand experience, I can tell you it takes 1.5 hours. It used to take over 3 hours, but it's still a pain in the neck. And the eyes, and the nose. But if you think that's involved, wait till you see what it takes to create a new logo for the Sci-Fi Channel. Sci-Fi takes us on a journey beyond what we know. Into a realm we can only imagine. But how do we make what we imagine seem real? How do we give birth to a fantasy? Let's take a look at the creators, the machines, and a bit of the madness it takes to bring a story to life.
I found the most intriguing thing was to take two robots and make them into human beings and make them the most interesting characters in terms of the comedy element and the so I wanted to make the film around them, use them as a framework for the film. And I knew when I did that I would be getting myself into a lot of trouble.
I cannot tell you the number of places I've been all over the world, restaurants that I've gone into thinking I'm having a quiet dinner, and as I get up to leave, I hear somewhere in the restaurant, beady, beady, beady. It's amazing.
How do we formulate the day-to-day living with these things? It's a real issue. It's going to be more an issue as we go on.
It's the same issue explored by the Sci-Fi Channel in our original movie, Homewrecker. Meet a very special computer named Lucy. A dramatic and gripping exploration of the relationship between humans and robots, Homewrecker is just the first of many exciting original movies we've planned for you on the Sci-Fi Channel.
What's interesting to me is that in trying to make the computer more human, the computer teaches him to be more human.
Don't say what is new. Just say what's new. You got that? Say what's new.
Oh, Lucy's the kind of nightmare that you usually just dream about and never expect it to become real.
These are Lucy's eyes. These are the ones that the talent will smash. And we have 4 chances to do that, and all the little parts fall out. And I try to give her a personality with the eye so that she, when it's a sad moment, the eye kind of looks down.
Homewrecker. Watch for it in the weeks ahead. Now, Homewrecker is science fiction, but it's based on science fact. We spoke to a couple of guys who are experts in this field.
I think it's an attempt to explore just beyond what the current boundaries are.
We're encountering the same kinds of problems, both in dealing with moral questions about how you deal with robots, and the issues about humans interacting with robots on a day-to-day basis. All of our robots, well, there may be a couple of exceptions, are named after robots in science fiction, many of them from films. I kind of like the Terminator myself.
New technology finds its way into the oddest places. We've tapped this new technology to design every detail of the Sci-Fi Channel, even down to our logo. When it came to creating a symbol for our Sci-Fi Channel, we went to the best.
This is one of the motion control stages at Apogee Studios. This is the computer from which the motion control camera is run, and this is the camera. And you see, they build their own motion control rigs here. And you can see it's kind of an elaborate, massive setup.
We are combining 2
essentially two different technologies. We're using effects that are normally reserved exclusively for feature films, miniature photography specifically, with computer graphics. And we're marrying those two kinds of images.
I think that what we set out to achieve here, we have achieved. There's a sense of mystery, a sense of discovery, a sense of movement through alien worlds. It embodies all of the things that the intent of this channel is to embody. And it works really well.
To see how all this animation turns out, tune in and watch the launch, September 24th. Be there at the creation. Ever notice how tomorrow is just out of reach, just over there? And we always try to get hold of it before it arrives. Tomorrow. The thought of it can make us tremble in fear or shudder in happy expectation. What's it going to bring? Well, you heard it here first. The Sci-Fi Channel has actually managed to get its hands on tomorrow. Stick around, because when we come back, we're going to show you just how close it really is.
We're waiting for the Sci-Fi Channel. We're dying for it.
As a kid growing up in Pasadena, I always thought it would be nice to have a time machine. Thought they'd never leave. But believe it or not, the Sci-Fi Channel has a time machine. Would you believe? Several. Well, almost. Every week, we'll take you on a journey into tomorrow. You won't believe how close the future really is. We're going to plug you directly into NASA and the future of space exploration. What's ahead for the next phase? You'll find out on Inside Space.
There is nothing mystical, really, about virtual reality. We're currently orbiting Venus and digitizing the entire planet. The only way to explore Venus is virtually. If you're there at Venus in orbit, you can't see through the clouds. If you try to land, you melt. But what we can do with radar is we can digitize the planet, bring it virtually down to Earth, and then explore it.
It's easier to heat up Mars than to cool down Venus. You think Michael Jordan has hang time? Catch me on the moon with a basketball.
Discovering unknown things, different civilizations, and eventually one day we will be living there.
We'll get the scoop on today's happenings in the entertainment world, sci-fi wise, on Sci-Fi Buzz.
I need your deck. This is a bad one. Worst yet. Action, please.
It's a TV magazine with a whole new behind-the-scenes angle on the cutting edge of technology.
I found these all over where the transporter thing goes. The thing.
Right away.
We'll visit and interview top filmmakers and look at the techniques and tools in the making of special effects.
When you start to work on a film, I mean, nobody in the world has an ego big enough to believe that your film is going to be the classic.
Questions. I just do eyes. It's just genetic design.
The public decides that after over years of liking it very much and sort of persisting in their fascination with it. And it's a great compliment to the skills of the whole team that worked on the film.
We'll even go way out with sci-fi news of the future. 150 years from now with the FTL news feed, faster than light, brought to you before it happens.
Implants mandatory was an invasion of privacy by the central bank.
Speaking of way out, wait till you see Mysteries from Beyond the Other Dominion, hosted by Dr. Rule.
And today we're going to tell you why UFOs don't land in big cities. Ask if our moon could be an artificial body. Report on Tyrannosaurus Rex revealing some of his secrets. Live long and prosper.
And we're designing ways for you to contact other fans with the Sci-Fi Fan Alliance.
I'd be obsessed with sci-fi on TV, really. I wouldn't move from my chair.
Keep watching for details on how to join and what the benefits will be.
Great Z movies will hopefully be shown on the Sci-Fi Channel.
The Sci-Fi Channel is the one and only place you'll find all your favorites. There's a lot to look forward to. Now, here are just a few programming highlights. Now, every night, our sci-fi collection will feature rarely seen series, and we'll show them to you from the first episode to the last. Now, don't forget cartoons in the morning. And Sunday night features not one but 3 original series. And there's more. Feature films, science fact, and series. Check your newspaper. The Sci-Fi Channel is your 24-hour-a-day time machine. Look into the past for your favorite shows, and look to the future for the best movies and series. Whenever you're looking to find sci-fi, fantasy, thrillers, movies, and series, the Sci-Fi Channel is the one to watch. If you're not getting the Sci-Fi Channel, contact your cable company and tell them you want the Sci-Fi Channel.
Coming up on their Century ships.
Oh, don't worry.
Angle the deflector shield while
I think they can handle it from here. A very wise man I once knew wrote that space is the final frontier. But it's the human imagination that is the ultimate frontier. It will always be there. It will always challenge. Come explore it with us on the Sci-Fi Channel. The future is now. As a pointed-eared alien once said, live long and prosper. What other life forms could take. Thank you. Ever notice how tomorrow is just out of reach? Over there. I gotta do. No, is that fine? Please, one minute. Over the years has been wondering and creating what life forms. Oh no, not again. Switching over the